Hello, my dear friends. What a wonderful world. The world is wonderful. It's beautiful. Nature is perfect, beautiful. Paradise. It's a paradise. And we are the paradise. We are part of the paradise. We are the source of the paradise. The one who enjoy the paradise. The essence of the paradise. We are everything. This is our true being. We call our spirit. Is a reflection of the totality, that beauty inside this soul, this little person. And here we are. Many of you or some of you will be seekers, looking to find or to realize our true essence, our real being, and enjoy the paradise permanently. Enjoy ourselves, our beauty. And in between, we are searching that, searching from here, from the soul, searching that paradise. And in between, we have our own, the own soul is like in between that realization. Why? Because that being is identifying, thinking, we are the soul, we are the person. And the soul, once is become small, limited, source of imperfection, source of fear, source of desires, which are not the true desires, source of pain and suffering, source of all the problems, going away from the paradise. And this is in between us, in between our true being and what we think we are, this soul, that is the ego, that thought. So when we are in that process to find ourselves, the soul is in between with so many problems. The main problem is that we are not able to accept the reality of this very moment. And what is the reality? The reality is that our spirit, our being, is living from inside, identifying with the soul and the problems. And we don't want. So we are searching the truth, searching the spirit, fighting against our soul, not accepting that at this moment this is the reality for us. And in that process it creates anxiety. The anxiety of the seeker to find the truth. Because the seeker, the ego, the seeker is the ego. Because we seek because we are not there. That's why we seek. And the one who is not there is the ego. Is the identification with his limited soul. So the anxiety of the seeker, fighting against oneself, not accepting the reality of this very moment, this is one of the main obstacles for the reality of our true being to manifest. Because we identify with that. That is the problem. We identify we are that seeker. And the anxiety, the desires of the ego, of the seeker to find, to realize, to enjoy our true being, the paradise, the divinity, that anxiety is identifying ourselves with what we are not. This little soul, source of pain and suffering and fear. So all these come to one very special soul whose spirit is already just there, pumping and expressing and manifesting. But still sometimes holding into the ego. And when you hold into the ego, you identify yourself with what you are not. And don't accept the reality of the moment, that it has to be like that. And what we can do, I imagine, for example, if we have a problem, imagine of our communication, and we cannot communicate with others, we are blocked, disconnected from the totality, feel bad. This is block. Okay. So when we see the problem, we see that this is manifesting in the soul. For example, this disconnection, this lack of communication, or breakup of the communication, or for example, it can be the ego that you become dominating, you want to be right, or the superego, bring down your self-esteem, or whatever problem in the soul. So we realize it, we can see it, and then that is fine. That problem to be in this moment of reality, that is fine, this is what it is, this is the reality. That is not affecting in at all the paradise of our being. But what is the problem for the seeker, and that anxiety of the seeker, anxiety of the ego? What is the problem? Is that we don't want to accept that moment of reality. We don't want to accept that this is in our soul, and we have to experience that. And then we identify with the soul more, because we reject that. And then we try to fight, and the problem becomes, you get entangled into the problems. Then you come out of the paradise. Not, you don't go out of the paradise, because in this moment of reality there is a conflict, you can say it, a conflict for the ego, of course. Something is blocked. But you don't go out of the paradise because of that block. You go out of the paradise because you reject, you react, you fight against yourself, against that problem in you. You identify with that problem doing so. And then you get entangled, and then you come out of the paradise completely involved in the problem. We don't want to accept it, the reality of this moment. Our ego has a special plan for the reality, a special projection. It's the projections of our ego. How is the ideal paradise? Ideal paradise, I will be just, feeling love all the time in the soul, enjoying, being one with everything, loving everything, just in the state of joy. Not any single conflict. This is the ideal paradise for the ego. But the reality is already perfect. It's already perfect. With the conflicts. Conflicts for the ego, of course. So when the problem comes in us, this is the point. We find a problem in us, and one problem after another. First this one, then the ego, then the superego, then the emotions, then this, then that. Okay, whatever problem. We face the problem. That very moment, we have to understand there is only one way, because that is, you cannot control it with your ego. You cannot control the ego. With the ego, it will be a big ego, bigger ego. So there is only one way for the ego, because it's falsehood. It's not reality. It's the reality thinking you are this body, this mind, this soul. This is not the truth. So there is only one solution for you. Accept completely the reality in you this very moment. Watch it. You already saw it. You are already experiencing it. Don't try to fight against that. Meditate in that. Watch that. Realize this is this very moment, and surrender to the reality. Surrender to God. Surrender to your own spirit, which is God. Trust yourself. Trust your true being. Surrender that. And when you do that, you are not going to fight. You are going to see exactly what is the weak point in the soul, in you. And every time you see it, instead of fighting against that, which is one energy, it doesn't help. Fighting against your problems is creating a double problem, because fighting is not something that produces enlightenment. If you want to help yourself when you see the problem, accept you are there. Accept you can never come out of there just by yourself. Surrender yourself. Allow the soul to be very small, because it's small. Because it has so many problems and it cannot help itself. So surrender that, accept that, become a little child. At the same very moment, the soul is a child, and you look this little soul, this little child, where with what you are identifying. And then the moment you see that this soul is suffering, your little child is suffering, because that experience is not joyful, it's painful. At that same very moment when you see, pour all the love from you to you, pour the love. And the child doesn't resist to the love, because it's surrendered. You are surrendered, and you are projecting again the soul to yourself, and that love will reach the soul. And that can be changed, because the love is the energy that really can change the soul, not the ego. So there is only one way. Surrender completely. When you don't surrender and you try to be something else of what is the reality of this moment in you, when you react, the problem is going to get bigger. And you are not in any way helping yourself. You get more and more entangled. So that being who is aware of the problems, when you realize in you, go to that. Go that you are realizing, oh, there is pain here, okay. So, not to get entangled. Keep it in what you are. You are observing. Observe it. Differentiate. When you observe and you are realizing, you are perceiving, observing the problem, you are with yourself and you watch the problem. The problem is not you. Even if you are experiencing the pain of that, you are not the problem. You are the one who watch. At that very moment is why you can love that, and keeping that as a witness. Allow everything to come, all the problems in you. This is compulsory. The problems has to be poured, or the problems has to be melted in that paradise by the love, which is the energy of the paradise, and not by our reaction. And our ego wants that realization of what we are, our truth now. We want the enlightenment now. Not tomorrow, not after 3 years, and especially not knowing when it's going to be. Because if we knew, okay, it's going to be tomorrow, it's going to be in 10 years, okay, you just relax. But the play to be complete surrendering for the soul is that you don't know exactly when is the moment when it's going to be that change, melting into the paradise of our spirit. You don't know. Because you have to develop the surrendering. You have to develop the faith in yourself, faith in totality. If you have faith, why should you worry if you know the blessings are already here? This very moment, always, eternally will be. Why to feel anxiety? Why to feel worry? We are that. Everything is that paradise. It's pure existence. It's pure awareness, pure joy, pure love. Cannot be touched by the problems of the soul. It's only if that life in us identify with the soul that the pain gets stuck, entangled into that, and the pain and suffering multiply and grows. Surrendering, not the way, because it's melting, so surrendering is compulsory.